What is up, everybody? Matt here, back again with another video. Today I'm going to be talking about my favorite Pink Floyd album of all time. Picking a favorite Pink Floyd album is like having to pick a favorite child. There really is merit in every single record that they produced, and it's really difficult to look at it and go, okay, yeah, that one, definitely that one. Dark Side and Wish You Were Here and Metal and Animals, I mean, they're all classic albums. But for me, my favorite album that they produced was always The Wall. And the one that is my particular favorite version of that is this one right here. Is There Anybody Out There? The Wall live at Earl's Court, 1980 to 1981. This is an interesting album because it's The Wall as it's meant to be heard. Now, for all you young whippersnappers out there, vinyl records have a shorter runtime than your fancy digital albums nowadays. You could only fit so much on one record, and then you had to go to a second, and then possibly a third if there was even more, although that was incredibly rare. So when Pink Floyd were doing The Wall and composing it, they were limited by that fact, so a lot of stuff got cut out and never made it onto the record. What's really cool about this particular issue, and the one reason I really like it, is it's The Wall as it's supposed to be heard. The main thing you're going to hear on this one are extended outros, intros, and longer solos, which are always amazing because they're performed by the amazing David Gilmour on guitar. This is just an absolutely incredible album. Now, a little bit of background on this. The Wall was only performed live about 31 times with the original members of Pink Floyd. And even then, it was a very rough tour. It had a lot of problems. The band was pretty much not speaking to each other. There's an old story that says that they each had a Winnebago, and they parked them in a big circle with the doors facing out so nobody would have to look at anyone. So yeah, it was pretty tense when you look at that. But they pretty much all agree in the liner notes of this album that while The Wall, the time of them making it was pretty turbulent for them, that they can't deny that the album itself is fantastic, and the shows were pretty ambitious for the time. The Wall shows were pretty crazy. They had giant inflatables of characters designed by Gerald Scarfe, which were featured in the album art. They had these giant projections. They had a completely separate band come out on stage. That's where these masks come from. This is from the surrogate band that comes out halfway through the show. And they wore these really creepy flesh-colored masks of Pink Floyd, and the whole gimmick was you think, oh, it's Pink Floyd, and then the real Pink Floyd comes out and it's super cool and super awesome and very creepy. Now, the Earl's Court shows are really important because they were filmed for the Wall movie. See, the original concept of the Wall film was that they were going to have the story elements, and then they were going to cut that with footage of Pink Floyd performing. And apparently that footage was completely unusable, and they just completely scrapped it. Now, what's kind of interesting is that a couple years ago, some of that footage turned up. I think it was used in like a BBC special about Pink Floyd or something like that. And it was on YouTube for a little bit, but I think it got taken down. And it looked incredible. It was so cool to see those shows. So apparently, again, there's another rumor out there that it's just sitting in a closet collecting dust on a VHS tape. So it would be pretty cool if we could get our hands on that. Now, my theory is that the audio for this is the audio from those film performances. Now, I can't prove that, and it's probably a long shot, but I'm just going to say that that's what it is, and that's what I think. Again, like I said, this is a fantastic album because of it, not only its packaging, but the liner notes within it are really well done. This is a very, Pink Floyd is a very artistic band, to say the least, and their packaging really does reflect that. This is just so cool. It contains so much info on these shows, and wonderful color photographs of the set and the inflatables and everything like that. In addition to that, the two CDs are presented in this very cool Gerald Scarfe wallpaper. I don't really know how else to say it. And it includes schematics of the stage, as well as, this is really cool being a theater guy, all of the techs who worked on those shows. So I think that that is just really cool, and definitely something that, is just neat to have. This contains my favorite versions of these songs from the Wall album. The versions of Comfortably Numb, Mother, and Run Like Hell that are on here are just so incredible. They are how they are supposed to be heard. David Gilmour's solo on Comfortably Numb just I will never get tired of hearing that. I mean, it seems like at least 3 or 4 times a week I listen to that because I just love it so much. It's so well done. Same with Run Like Hell. There's an energy to it, and you can hear the crowds and everything, and it's just really, really cool. It's like you're there, and that's what's so cool about this. This was the last time all 4 original members of Floyd were together until the Live Aid show. And I know I'm cheating a little bit because it's on CD, but there is no vinyl release of this. I think they did a promo of a couple of the songs that were on a colored vinyl. If anybody related to Pink Floyd out there is listening, please, please, please do a vinyl reissue of this. I don't care if it's 4 vinyls, 10 vinyls, I will buy it because it is just so incredibly cool to hear this stuff. And if I had it on vinyl, it would have so much more power than it does on this digital format. So it's really, really cool. It's kind of frustrating, though, that this almost didn't get a release, and I was pretty petrified when I heard that. Apparently, Roger Waters was not happy with this, but luckily he was outvoted on that decision, and they decided to release it. He basically said that this was not a good release, it was not necessary, and even when they decided, yes, we're going to do it, he was mad about the album art. He felt it should have been done by Gerald Scarfe, which, I mean, I can understand if you want your guy to do the art, but I mean, it's just a packaging dude. Eventually his son convinced him that people wanted to hear it, and in the end he was happy with it, but it's like one of those things, you have no idea how close we came to not getting this album. It's my favorite. It's Pink Floyd as they need to be heard in these final performances, and it just rocks. This is a fantastic album. That's all I have to say about my favorite Pink Floyd album, The Wall. Is there anybody out there, the concerts from 1980 to 1981 live at Earl's Court? I will see you guys next time.